We've seen across the board, I think that the return to the office just is at varying levels depending on where you sit in the world. And so there's so many different factors. But I think what we're really seeing throughout 2021 and as we move into 22 now, the uptake in office leasing is really very much increasing. And I think what we're seeing is occupiers are looking for a flight to quality space. So they may take a little bit less space, but overall much better quality space to look for talent retention, trying to keep their staff happy, wanting them to come to the environment, to collaborate, to work together. And I think in turn, we're seeing that then reflected in investment strategies. And, Colliers has just undertaken, as you mentioned, a very large global capital survey for investors from all around the world. And of course, logistics has been the darling of investment over the last 24 months, but office still remains the second most popular sector to invest in, with most of our respondents and over 65% still looking to invest in commercial offices.
What is that trend from, workspaces like WeWork and the rest of them and the work from home element? I mean, surely that is not going away.
Yeah, well, look, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I think the trend that we've seen from that initial sort of shock from the pandemic of people all working from home to very much, as you say, that hybrid model. And I think that hybrid model, though, means that people still need their office space for collaboration, for client space, for their teams, for corporate culture. And I think we're seeing that reflected both in terms of take-up, particularly across the United States and in Europe. And now we're beginning to see that filter in across Asia, particularly as restrictions begin to ease as well. And I think occupiers are beginning to have a more of a long-term sort of view on their strategy as they see us, all coming out of this pandemic. So overall, yeah, we're seeing both occupational interest both increasing from an occupier point of view, but also that then reflects in the investor market and the strength of investors wanting to deploy that capital into that sector. So I'll just sort of finalize on that point around the office that, different parts of the world are at different spaces. And I think you could break it down between some mega metropolises, as you've highlighted in some of your graphics, between London and New York, where they have, large commuting populations and quite a diverse population relative to some of the smaller states, perhaps in Asia, perhaps in Singapore or Hong Kong, where you've got so many other factors like multi-generational living, perhaps smaller apartment living, a far denser sort of city. And I think people therefore want to get out of that home environment and actually be in the office as well. And I think we're seeing that reflected in corporate strategy.